How about now? How about now? You ready now? You
Look,
ready?
I haven't done this in 3 weeks. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. What the
I
heck?
think it's been
How
longer than
you what?
3 weeks. I
No, it
haven't
has been 3 weeks. It's been 3 Thursdays.
three
Christmas,
Thursdays.
New Year's, and last week.
Gosh, it seems longer than that.
I
And
know.
everything has happened. Everything has
I keep
happened.
having people message me going, when are you guys coming back? We're going through withdrawals. We're back. Ta-da!
Yay!
It's
It's
scary for
been
some.
yeah, it's been a long, strange trip. Let me tell you,
It has.
it feels like forever since we've been on here. And then I've had so many things going on, floods and everything else here. Inspections and flood.
It's,
I'm changing insurance companies. When I change health insurance companies is when my health blows up and I can't get the things I need. When I'm changing house insurance, what happens? To the policy
you
just
pop
ends
it.
the day of my
It's
house inspection. I get a flood
yeah,
relief.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, what is
That's
this?
okay. I think it's in the air because I don't know if anybody's seen my post on my Facebook page. I rarely talk medical stuff and politics and all that fun stuff. But I'm sorry, I gotta say it. The Quebec government is thinking about taxing people who do not get the vaccine. I got the
That's
vaccine. I'm not going to worry about it. But I still believe freedom of choice. If you want to do it, you also take the consequences whether you do it or you don't. But don't tell me you're going to go and tax me because I'm a.
that's
Sorry, I
illegal.
had a moment. Shut
That's
up now,
illegal.
darling.
Yeah, that is illegal. They just can't do that. That's ridiculous. Because then if that happens up there, you know what's going to happen is down here in the U.S. they'll follow suit and say, "Oh, we can get more taxes." No,
No, no, don't. Okay, let's delete that from the show so that the American government doesn't hear about it. Hey, Tiff. Hey, Michelle.
except hi. All right, I can't see you yet because I'm going to be playing a video. So what I'm going to do is, yes, we have had a lot going on. We are so grateful to be back again.
God, yes.
Um, I have been not
2022.
feeling
Just
well, hmm, so my voice is still not great, but I hope you can hear me okay. I do have a new microphone though. Again, this is microphone number 3. Trying to get it right so that I sound as good as she does.
I don't
But
sound all
then I
that
don't have
great.
a voice, so it's like, can you win like
If
ever?
if anybody says I sound like a heavy breather on the phone, please let me know in the chat because like I was going yesterday and did the other day and Gina was like, can we stop with the heavy breathing? It's like, okay. Okay.
It's fun.
And poor Wendy's in the background. What are these two women chit chatting about?
I know. It's just been too long. We've just been away for too long. So
Yeah,
we're finally back. We're glad that we're back. So what I'm going to do is I always do is I'm going to play Wendy's bio video, and it's a good one. I
it
worked hard
is.
on it. I love the end of it. So definitely watch it. Let me know what you think of it. All right, because I put a lot into these, and it's all the good information about our guest Wendy. And as soon as it ends, she'll be with us. Okay.
Hey, Doris.
Good evening, I'm Gina B. here with Mama D every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here in the Fox Den. Tonight we have Wendy Darling. She is the founder of the Miraculous Living Institute. With more than 35 years of experience as a relationship and transformational results expert, speaker, seminar facilitator, management and organizational development consultant, master healer and coach, Wendy has created a unique and innovative system, the Miraculous Living Method, that allows people to get the results they want with greater ease and speed. Wendy works with all facets of relationships. Singles who want to finally attract love in their life via Attract Love Now. Couples who want to replenish their relationship via Miraculous Loving. The relationship with your body and health via Loving Yourself Lean. Business owners and executives and their personnel to strengthen the team for greater productivity and profits. Wendy also trains and certifies coaches and practitioners in her programs and methodology. Wendy formerly hosted 2 of her own radio shows and has been featured in Forbes as well as numerous other publications. She is the #1 best-selling author of Create Your Miraculous Life, It's Never Too Late, and The Miracle That Is Your Life. Wendy's clients repeatedly refer to her as their personal fairy godmother for assisting them in turning their dreams into reality, regardless of where they are in life. Today, Wendy is here to share wisdom and create your miraculous life. And it's never too late. And we welcome you to the Fox Den, Wendy.
And there she is.
And she was giggling in the back when we saw the fairy godmother. I think so cute.
It's so true. I mean, that is just the cutest, best. Nobody has ever done anything like that for me before. And it is awesome. And I have to admit, the fairy godmother piece was quite the special little touch. As I've mentioned before, that was not something I came up with. That came from my clients. And finally I surrendered.
You kind of have no choice.
Yeah. With a name like Wendy Darling too, you know,
It's
you
like,
know,
hello.
we're Disney people.
Could have been calling you Tinkerbell. So
Yeah, it's true.
fairy godmother is cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's awesome. Hi, honey. That's my honey. And
Oop, oop. Oh, that's that. Excuse me. Is that the young boy in the basement?
Yes, him. Yeah.
Hey, Bob.
His face. Hi, Darian. Hey, Doris.
Oh my gosh, we're busy today. People have missed us. They're here all the time. Yay.
Yep, I love you. Michelle always puts up a cute little something. I don't know what
She's
it
got a
is.
skeleton. She's got a. I can't remember. That's it. The little skeleton hand.
The skeleton guy. Yep. Okay. All right. So this is the book, though, that we're talking about tonight. But you can see that she has two books next to her: "The Miracle That Is Your Life" and "Create Your Miraculous Life." Now, this I read in the morning. I was just saying this right before the show. I did. It's not a difficult read, although it's great. And at the end of each chapter, especially in the beginning parts, right, there's a little note to God, dear God, you know, whatever the chapter's about, but it's a thing for you. So I'm reading, and every time I would come to the dear God thing, I would read it out loud because it was like, this is perfect. This is just perfect. So I was hoping and praying, you know, for real, as I was reading the book, you know.
And that's exactly what I had intended and had hoped for. Because I think when we have a desire in our heart, we want it to materialize. We want it to realize, become a reality. And, you know, of course, in our world, why not pull in the powers that be who already are wanting to assist us?
Right. Because I do believe in miracles. Now, what was your motivation for this particular book, Create Your Miraculous Life? And why did you choose the It's Never Too Late part?
Well, the book actually started out, It's Never Too Late. I was feeling the pull to write a book. I was 69, rapidly approaching my 70th birthday. It has officially happened. And you're so cute. No. And so, you know, the reality that there's so much more I personally want to be doing and offering, but yet I know there are more than likely fewer steps in front of me than behind me. So that whole theme of it's never too late was in my face. You know, it was my reality. And this was also at a time at the height of our pandemic where so many lives were being tremendously affected in so many different ways, including loss of loved ones, et cetera, et cetera. And so that was now on top of that. And then I have to say, also, my son became very ill last year. And I will also say that he's doing amazingly well, but it was intense for quite some time. And so the book really, I started writing the book about it's never too late, you know, whether it's be to get your body in a healthier place, to attract the love of your life, grow a business, start whatever. I honestly believe it's never too late. The desire in your heart, if you have one, it's your truth. It's intended for you to learn, to grow, and to have that, to experience it. It's not there to torment you. And so what ended up happening, though, I was talking to my best friend who one of my best friends. I have to be careful in case others are listening. um, that that the book didn't. She also, by the way, happens to be my publisher, Robin Simons of Crescendo Publishing, and I was sharing with her that I just didn't think It's Never Too Late was it. It didn't feel complete to me. And in her wonderful way, she said, Wendy, do you recall that, 5 years ago, you wrote this book called The Miracle That Is Your Life? You decided to change the title of the name and the brand of your business to the Miraculous Living Institute. Maybe, just maybe, there should be a little something about that. And I knew she was right. But so the first book, as you can see, is The Miracle That Is Your Life, because that's so true. And then this book is about, well, let's get this party started and actually create it. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love
So there
that.
are her websites too. So there's www.wendydarling.com, where she has all her books, programs, certification programs, coaching, and speaking. You can do all those types of things, see everything in there. And www.gothedistanceconsulting.com is another one. And then we have another website to put up later on. So you'll have to stay tuned to find out what that is.
Stick around, peeps.
Yeah, so the bottom line is now I'm looking at Create Your Miraculous Life, and my life was not feeling miraculous at all. Between all the things that I've just shared with you, okay, the turning 70 was not as significant as my son and the pandemic, but it was still there. And I
Still there. It's still
really,
existing, though,
I
yeah.
just turned 59 just last week.
I'm 60.
And I'm like, all right, I got one more
happy
year
birthday,
left.
happy belated birthdays.
Thank you.
And so once again, I found myself in a position where I had to dig deeper. I had to find that place in me again of hope, of belief. And my first book, I will admit, I wrote it really quick and easy. It just came out of my fingers. I wrote it part-time in less than 5 weeks. This book was not the same. It took a lot longer to get through everything that I needed to write, because I myself was going through a shift. I myself was having to find the belief in miracles. Obviously, the top one was my son. And, thank goodness, wish granted. But
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
so
For
that
this one, you had to dig deep.
I really did, because I've always put myself in positions that I seem to have to go through things that I that I either teach or write about or whatever. And it's very important to me that I walk my talk. And that integrity piece is critical. I think also because of some of the experiences I've gone through, I have a lot of compassion for whatever somebody's experiencing. And so there's a lot of room there.
You
And
can tell that. You can tell that in your writing. You can tell that in the stories that you share from your clients. That in the way that you tell it, you know that you have compassion.
thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, I'm blessed, I was given a very good heart. And so for that, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. When you want to help somebody, I mean, that's what you need. There are people put on the planet to help others. You're like one of them. She's got that. It's just that certain special gift.
Je ne sais quoi.
Right? Yeah. What we like to do here is we like to help our listeners. With whatever way we can. And
Absolutely.
you're an integral part of that.
It's really kind of funny. I mean, if I'm not contributing in some way, I get a little cranky. So, so it's really in everybody's best interest. And I love it. I honestly love it. A lot of people my age have already retired. People are looking at retirement, and I'm like, what would I do? Why would I want to not do what I'm doing? I'm not speaking on stages right now like I had been, or there's some things that changed a bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, and you're still going. Like for me, I've always worked like just a dog my whole life. I've done physical labor. I've done, I've had multiple businesses. I was constantly moving, constantly. Since I moved here to Pennsylvania, like 4 or 5 years ago now, whatever it is, I've not worked. And I'll tell you, I do more work being here, not working. But
I have heard that.
Yes.
I've actually heard that from people that have retired. It's like, and also time and space, I think, changes for a lot of people that retire. When they used to have rigorous schedules and they had a lot in it, and then, all the other stuff was just kind of worked into it. Now it's just that. But then it's like,
yeah, my health went poof. But then I'm reading this and and it's like, it motivated me. It's like not too late, no matter what I'm going through. I got COVID, my lungs got killed, so I can't do a lot of exercise programs. But, I've been thinking, and it's really been in my head, just go for a walk. What do I read in your book? Just go for a walk. And I was just like, okay,
Did you?
in here, not outside. Because it was like it's freezing and ice
it's
outside.
cold. You guys are having some cold weather.
It's crazy cold
Oh,
outside.
Yeah.
Okay, who we go here? Hi.
Hey, Vernon.
Hi. We're gonna say hi to
Well,
everybody.
that's so
Hey,
nice.
Vicky.
Hi, Vicky. Excuse me. Yeah, right. And that is true. Actually, let me put that back up here again. It is true. Relative to working harder when you're off the clock, it's true.
Yeah, because when you're working for somebody else, a
Well,
regular,
no,
what I call
me,
9 to 5. Okay, not you. You've never worked for anybody but yourself, and you had a difficult boss then. But when you're working for somebody else, you kind of know it's like I'm going at 9 to 5. But when you're working for yourself, whether you're doing paranormal investigation, whether you're doing, healing readings, creating your own whatever, there's no, okay, I'm going to punch out now and go home. You are home. You do your things. If somebody needs you, oh yeah, okay, I'm home. I'll go and do it. So you don't think that, like, there's no box that you put yourself into. You just kind of like break free, and breaking free, you feel like you have a lot more time, but you don't. We just trust me, I do it all the time. Yes, and Vernon says your sleep patterns are different as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to stay up late. Now I go to bed by 10.
Yeah, she's like, Gina's like, what?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Good night. but I want to change it. You know what I mean? Because we've been home. We've been home. Been stuck for 2 years now in the house with the pandemic. And it's like, is it going to change? Who knows?
Yeah.
Every time you think it's about to change, now we got Omicron, whatever else is going to be next. I mean, I don't know, whatever it's going to be.
Well, hopefully, obviously, we don't really know what's going to transpire. But if it's anything like South Africa, once Omicron peaked, the numbers really came back down pretty fast. And right now, so many people are getting infected that there could be the possibility that we'll reach herd immunity. Of course, we don't know what Omicron might mutate into as well. So we don't hear very much about Delta anymore. So I don't know. You're right. None of us know. And we just
one day at a time, like everything else.
Right?
Yeah, we just have to buckle down and do our best. But in my world, you can still have so many wonderful experiences regardless of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many things that you can do. I love, Gina, that you said, yeah, I could walk. You haven't braved the cold yet, but you walked around your home. And that's good, because that alone can make such a difference in how you feel. Most of us need
a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more.
Okay, but you also go up and down stairs every day.
Yeah.
I do too.
Each floor.
She's got 3 levels, so that's a lot of stair work.
That's great. That's wonderful exercise.
So the thing is, I huff and puff up them.
Well, it's all right.
So bad, That's the problem. I got to be careful on how much I do, because I want to go 0 to 60, and I can't.
That's
Because that's how
Gina.
my whole life was, 0 to 60. I mean, when I did a job, if I do a construction job, it's like you start in the morning. I would start a thing that I would finish in 3 days. That was like my max for a room. It's like this room is going to be done in 3 days, regardless. So I will kill myself to make sure it's done. You know, get all my people lined up. And me doing a lot of this physical labor. So I would do it. But I kill myself all the time and don't quit. And then all of a sudden it's like, God, I can't even walk up a flight of stairs without dying.
Yep.
Violence of the epidemic caused me to quit my job because my body wouldn't keep up with the different schedules. And now changing time zones after 30 years, a 2 hours difference is very hard to adjust to. Yes.
Yeah.
Time zones are
He was
ridiculous.
a big old chef in Vegas.
Ah,
Yeah, and that time shift will adjust. Just give it a little time. It's even for those of us who go from daylight savings time to standard time. It takes, especially in the fall, going forward is a lot easier than going back. No, it's just the opposite. Springing forward is not fun because we lose that hour.
loses that hour. I know. I don't like losing the hour. I like gaining the hour.
Yeah.
But
I don't see why we change the times
don't do
anyway.
it anymore. It's like, just get rid of it, honestly, because it really doesn't make so much of a difference. And also, on that note, we should also change our seasons a little bit, because it seems like fall is a little bit later, winter is a little bit later, really, because the winter months isn't really December, it's January, February, March. Those are really the worst parts. So everything should be shifted a little bit forward. So I decree
Okay, you have that discussion with Old Man Winter and see if it works, okay?
The seasons are changing. Blame it on me. Gina's world. Like what we said before, we could get these shiny ball moments. Well, we can. So,
Yep.
All right, reeling us back in. I just want to know what the miracle part of everything. What is it really? Go way back to what drew you to the word and everything about miracle.
Yeah, it really, it started way back before I realized, and I'm going to share the story of how this all came about. So it resulted, as I mentioned, my best pal, Robin Simons of Crescendo Publishing, she has this beautiful process that she does with her clients. And I had referred one of my clients to work with her to get to write and publish her book. And I was invited to what Robin calls her first strategy session with the client. And we had known each other and we were in a business mastermind together, but I never saw her in action. And when I saw what she did, I looked at her after the meeting. I said, I want you to do that with me. So we had our strategy session and we had, Post-it notes all over the place and sheets up on the walls. And she really does have this amazing ability of starting to organize things to where by the time I was done, I had all my chapters and subject matter in each one, which made it easy. But she looks at me and she said, what do you think the title of this book should be? And I remember my eyes kind of got pulled to one of the sheets. And I ended up telling her the story that I'm about to tell you. So I happen to have been raised Jewish. I'm very broad in my spiritual perspective today, but that's my background. My son was born, and in Judaism, you give your child a Hebrew name. So, and a lot of times that name is in honor, in memory of a deceased relative or somebody that really means a lot to you. In my case, my father had just passed away at the young age of 56 from a massive heart attack. So I really wanted to honor my father. Now, Adam's middle name is Neil. My dad's name was Nelson. So that's how I couldn't do Nelson to my son. It just didn't seem right. So Nelson is son of Neil, so close enough. And then when we looked at Hebrew names, my father's Hebrew name was Nissen. Nissen translates to, now it gets better. So then so then my former husband's grandfather had also recently passed away, and we wanted to honor him. His name was Charles, and in Hebrew, that's Chaim. Chaim translates to life. So my son's Hebrew name is Nisan Chaim, which translates to the miracle of life. And if any of you are parents, I remember the first time I held my son. First of all, I was shocked that he was a boy because everybody kept telling me they thought I was going to have a girl. We didn't have ultrasounds or anything. It's just, even the nurse said, yeah, faster heartbeat, probably a girl. And I'm holding this boy. I had two sisters, and I'm like, what do I do with this? Yeah, so that's how the book got named, The Miracle That Is Your Life. And I loved it because it honored my father. It actually also honors my son, who I adore. And I ended up realizing at some point, I'm very intuitive, and it's like, oh, this is how I was guided to be a voice for miracles. Another job assignments, other duties. What did they say in HR? It's like other duties as assigned. It was like, I kind of like the fairy godmother thing. I didn't come up with this. And for a while, I have to say, I was a little uncomfortable. I'm like, what? How did I find myself in the conversation of creating miracles? And yet I felt like I was guided to be one of the voices for miracles. And I think today, probably more than ever before, we need to support people to become inspired, to know what's in their hearts really possible, and that they too have a life of their dreams that they get to realize. And in my world, I do take it a step further. It's not just having your dreams come true, but it's having your dreams come true because you are living an authentic life. And in your unique way, you're making your unique contribution.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't have this. It can't be me. I'm not worthy or whatever." It doesn't matter your status, your situation, your money, your bank, your love, your anything like that. What do you want? And this is another thing I like about this. It's like you'll question that. You'll say, "All right, this is the story. This is this. This is that." Now it's your turn. Okay, so now you're going to sit down. You're going to write. You're going to answer these questions. Okay, so what do you have? What do you want? What do you like? What I mean? All these things. And it's like, okay, this is you. This is me answering these questions. I'm looking at it going, wow, I could really, I could be sitting here doing this. So you know what? I did. All right.
I need his book. I need his book.
I'm telling you, it's really good. I mean, it really makes you think. It's simple, yet right to the point.
Yeah, thank you, because that's important to me. A lot of people try to make things look, heady or intellectual. I like things simple. We haven't gotten into my accident of how certain things happen, but I had one of the results from my accident from many years ago was a brain injury. So it forced me to do things differently, but I like them simple.
Life makes sense.
Life is complicated enough.
It is. And now your accident, even before that, you weren't happy in your relationship. You mentioned that, right? So then you get this accident while you're in the hospital. What else happens? It's like my life saga thing. You know what I mean? Your husband comes in and says, all right, well, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? So now you got to deal with your accident, with this, with that, with trauma, inside and out.
Yeah,
and
it was
today. Look at you today. And a lot of people give up, and never ever, it's never too late.
No, I've worked with people in their 70s or 80s. I write this because it's truth to me. If you have a desire in your heart, it's your truth. Now, people like me have processes to clear out the interference that is possibly getting in the way, to reconnect the disconnections in your energetic circuitry. You see, I'm able to see that. I can see where there's junk, gook, think. And when I say that, it's past experiences that have either hurt your heart, traumatized you, irritated you, whatever. And those emotions, when they're not fully dealt with and expressed, they get locked in our system. And I have a gift now. This wasn't before my accident, but it is now, that I can see that. And the other gift of the miraculous living method is you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to relive it. I can go in and I can just clear things out. And there's also a brain training aspect that allows to either create a new neural pathway or strengthen an existing one. Because a lot of people do release work, which is wonderful. I mean, we've come a long way since my early days in counseling psych and all of that, where it was all conversation. But if you don't work with the mind to actually strengthen those neural pathways, so you're thinking and believing of what it is you're creating and experiencing, you risk defaulting back into old habits and patterns. That's why, for example, somebody might go on, quote, a diet, and maybe they have progress for a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, either their weight stalls or they start eating a certain way, they regain weight. It's because there are still erroneous thoughts and beliefs in the subconscious programming that's creating interference. So the good news about the miraculous living method, we take care of all of that. Because I want you to have the results you want. I want you to have the life you want. And so for that reason, I'm blessed. Yes. Do I wish that my circumstances would have happened just a little bit easier?
Well, you know what? I had so many things happen to my life too that have been like, major catastrophic things, but I wouldn't have it any other way because that is what shaped me. That's what made me. No life is, sunshine, lollipops, and daisies. I'm sorry. And if it is that, hey, you're the minority, not the majority, right?
Yeah.
So good for you. But it's tough. It's tough, and you got to learn how to, roll with those punches. But again, you're the one in charge. You're the one that makes that ultimate decision. And Vicky, I just want to read this before I take this down. Vicky says, it takes guts and a lot of self-examination to step into your purpose. And you're right. It's never too late.
Oh, thanks, Vicky.
It's going to be our catchphrase for a while.
The other thing is, if, obviously my situation was really extreme in terms of my accident, and I'm happy to share more, but it's, whenever we kind of hit a blip in our life or whatever it might be, I always look at it as an opportunity. It's because I believe now that we come into this experience called life on earth to learn and to grow, to evolve and to contribute. And so if something is happening, it could either be like, the bumpers that are put on bowling ball alleys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need those.
Yeah. And well, life's like that too. There may be a course correction that is wanting to happen. And I think when we pay attention, when I look back prior to my accident, were there some signs that maybe I needed to look a little bit more closely? As you mentioned, Gina, was my marriage a happy and fulfilling one? Were there issues there? But I was a highly committed person. The thought of completing a relationship with the father of my son was, quite honestly, me consciously, I don't know that I would ever do that. And it's all hindsight now, but I think there's always opportunity. And I have to say, even though my marriage ended, I ended up not doing as much consulting work. I started my personal growth business, the Miraculous Living Institute. I started writing personal growth seminars. There was a lot of new. And honestly, when I was in the hospital that first time, everything in my life was gone. It was like my life, the board called my life was wiped clean. There was nothing that I could hang my hat on. My health, my relationship, my son, my career, everything. And I had about 11 months in my recovery that I couldn't do anything. And so I had, I remember it was in the days where Oprah came on at 4:00 in the afternoon. That was the highlight of my day. But you can only watch even so much Oprah. And this was way before, what we have today with all the channels and being able to tape record and all of the DVRs. And so I had a lot of time to contemplate my navel and to really look at, well, I was first looking at what the heck, what choices had I made that, took me to the point of having my accident, and what was I going to have to do differently to come out on the other side? What different choices was I going to need to make to dig out of this hole that I sure found myself in?
And a lot of us do. You're not alone there. I mean, everyone's stories are different, but a lot of them are very similar. I mean, what do we have? We have love, we have loss, we have it's
Pain.
Pain, work, right? All your relationships. So whether they're family relationships, love relationships, and then love and loss, love and loss, love and loss. And it's not on our terms. It's on who knows what. I mean, but you can try to strive. Okay, I was just making sure Athena is going to be coming on to talk about her Amber, which will coincide with this show. But it is. It's like we all have all these issues all the time. But when they're jumbled up in here and constantly spinning, it's overload.
Yeah.
So when you choose to separate them, they don't have so much power over you. And then again, you do separate, these types of things and these types of situations, and you compartmentalize them, right? So you're breaking them down a little bit. What does it sound like? It's a little bit like the book I'm writing. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
Not like what steps that you're doing here. No, me just get it out of here and put it on paper.
Yeah, and the miraculous living method makes it so much easier. I'm very blessed with what was given to me. My healing gifts and my transformational system came after my accident. I was not this person at all prior to my accident. I was a consultant. I did corporate training and development. Suddenly, I'm singing and I'm having an effect on my own body and the bodies of others. I suddenly start seeing energy. I start receiving transformational cards. Here's some. They're right here. I happen to have some.
Awesome.
This is, I have to go backwards.
Ooh.
So this one has to do with nourishment. Where is some that, especially on camera? Ooh, here's a good one. I have to go backwards. This is passion.
Ooh, beautiful.
This is one of my favorites. I know you're not supposed to have favorite children.
Tell that one to my children.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So this is wisdom.
Very cool.
Nice.
So they hold a frequency. And again, so the cards I use in a lot of ways, but it helps when my clients connect with them. It connects to their heart. And it helps to wake up their desires, because a lot of times, there were years ago where I was pulled into companies who were letting employees go, and I was helping them kind of reposition themselves to what they might want to do next. And when I would work with them, I'd always be, wonder what they've always wanted to do, but they haven't given themselves permission. And every time there was always something. And it didn't mean that that would be their primary career, but I think, again, it was an opportunity to own that maybe they could do this part-time. And I think that that's the same with people's health. You know, I have a program coming out next week. It's starting, called The Miracle of Loving Yourself Lean. I take an energetic approach to weight loss, and we can talk, and we can talk. And so what I love about this is, yes, the natural outcome and result is people start releasing their weight. But people with weight issues typically have old hurts and traumas, stressors, and they're typically highly sensitive individuals that have had to overcompensate. And the body translates that in protection. And so I teach people how to work with their energetic system, to learn how to energetically shield yourself so you're not being influenced by outside sources, so that you're not inadvertently and unknowingly taking on other people's emotions and energies. Aren't we all being nice? And yes, there are other sensitivities. You know, we look at food sensitivities, but it's not a diet. I don't believe in diets. But what happens, and I became brilliant at this because of my own struggles with weight. And even about 2.5 years ago, maybe 3, you know, this whole pandemic thing has really messed up my timeline.
Me too.
And so my weight started creeping up a little bit. And I'm like, what? I thought we took care of this. And I have a process that I use the Miraculous Living method on me, period. And yet, once again, I had to dig deeper. Now, I will say I had some hormonal imbalances that needed correcting. I had some thyroid. However, when I dug deeper, I was given 3 new processes to add to my already existing program. And since I have been using the processes, my weight has been coming back down. I used to just always want to have at least 1 or 2 squares of dark chocolate a night. I've had for until just recently, I had a couple dark chocolate bars in my purse for a good couple of months, not even open. And I said, why am I carrying this around? There was just no interest. You know, during the holidays, I had a little bit of something, a little taste of something else. I just want you to know the experience was so completely different. And I just gravitate to foods for the most part that
Comfort?
No, that really serve and support my body.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
I gravitate towards food that makes me chunky.
Yeah, everything's fast food. You know, I really need that's why I need this. I do. You know, it's like I just
if you're serious about that, it's starting next week. So you might want to talk to me because I'm limiting the number of people in the program. And
so is it like a Zoom? Is it Zoom? Is it how to? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's and if I get too many, by the time we get ready to start, I'll just start another group. But I'm only taking 10, and it's a very. I mean, I can't even tell you how many years it's been since I've offered this low. Do you want me to say?
No. Do they sign up for it on here?
No. What you need to do is you need to go email me at this point, wendy@wendydarling.com. I think the website actually is wendydarling.com/lean, LEAN. And there'll be more specific information about the program and how you can sign up. And if that for some reason doesn't work, I do believe that's the link. Wasn't prepared for that one.
wendydarling.com/lean.
Yeah.
/lean.
Yes.
Yeah, wendydarling.com/lean. All right.
That's
So that's the one.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's really lovely because it really frees people. Once again, we're just getting rid of the interference and getting your energetic circuitry to work the way it was originally designed. And the natural result is you really create a loving relationship with your body. Because more times than not, also, unfortunately, definitely in the American society, and it's probably an international issue, too often bodies are they're the victims of self-hate or insecurities, and our bodies are truly miraculous. I don't know if you've ever seen your heartbeat. Since my dad died at an early age, I've always kept a close look how I'm doing. So far, so good. And probably about 8 years ago, I had an echocardiogram, and it's a sonogram type of experience. And I was literally able to see my heart in action. I have had other tests in the past where they put dye in my body and all of that, but I saw this little sucker working. And if you have never seen, some of you just Google a heart in action or something, what it looks like, because it is phenomenal. You will have a completely new appreciation because it's just working like crazy. It's just going and going.
Yep. Constantly. Yep.
It's phenomenal. You talk about 24/7 marathon. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Right.
So
we need to eat healthy food to keep that sucker going.
yeah, and movement and water, and there's a lot of things, but it just gives you a greater appreciation because this is, in fact, the only body we have. And we don't care for it. I will tell you, years ago, there is an exercise that I offer in my program, and it's called A Letter to Your Body. And you first write out let it rip, everything you want to say to your body. And I did. I do everything I ask other people to do. So when I was designing it, I did it for myself. And I'm like, why are you this? And why are you that? And why are my thighs, bigger, and whatever else I said. So then when you're done writing that letter, you switch hands. Because when you use your non-dominant hand, it bypasses the conscious mind and you get easier access to the subconscious.
Yep.
So
that's not the first time we've heard that.
And so you're writing. So now you're asking your body, what do you want to say to me? And honestly, to this day, I remember it as if it was yesterday. My body said, how would you feel if you were looked at each and every day with hate and disgust? Wouldn't you want to hide too?
Powerful. That's true, right? Yeah.
So it's not a coincidence that I've named my program Loving Yourself Lean. These extreme diets, of restriction and making only foods right and other foods wrong. That in itself creates so much mischief. And it's not a kind thing. I'm all for kindness and acceptance. It may take a little longer, maybe not. I mean, one of my clients who worked with me, it's now been I just talked with her recently. So I think we said it was about 12 years ago. She released 20 pounds her first month.
Wow.
Then her second month.
Sign me up. I need to lose like 60. And also like people put pounds on for medical reasons. Now I'm doing all kinds of steroids and whatnot for my lungs. That puts weight on you. But it's like, how do I counteract that? I don't know. I got to find out,
Yeah.
However, I know I eat wrong. I know, and I do punish myself. I do look in the mirror with disgust and everything, and I shouldn't, I just get like, that is not the person I think of myself, not as a 59-year-old, with again, like, less years in front of you than you. I think of myself still as that kid, that kid with that great body, when I used to model and I was this thick, you know what I mean? Tiny, and it's like,
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it does change, and that does take some adjusting. And that also has another opportunity of loving ourselves just as we are. Because when we start with acceptance, just think about that, just accepting yourself for a minute.
That's a big thing.
You know, there's
Yep.
you start to relax a little bit more. There's more room. When there's criticism and judgment, it feels constricted. So accepting and learning, yes, she is. And so to learn, to actually learn how to just love ourselves right now in this moment is huge in itself. And there's some exercises that I teach people how to lean more into that. It may not happen overnight. You know, I, as I've mentioned, I'm 70. The body doesn't, okay, the face is holding up pretty well. But,
That's why we do the videos from here up.
I know.
right.
Yeah.
But there are changes. There are things that I know weren't where they are now, and we're not going to get graphic, and
No.
and
No need, we know.
and they move differently. Things shift, but I'm like, and I will say, I have this great little gym close to me that's very safe. It's the way it's constructed. And so I love you, Debbie. Thank you.
No.
We have the best people in the chat room, bar none. That's all I
I
got to say.
love that. I love how people are there and are interacting. I think it's great. Ask questions. That I love answering
She
questions.
likes questions. Yeah, come up with questions about her. What she does, what she has to offer, because there's a lot. We're talking all about the weight and the health management stuff, but there's also relationships. Like she said, for singles, for couples.
Oh,
for-
that's
I have put the links into each one of the chat rooms. The link for her lean /
that's
lean.
nice.
So it's in there. So if anybody wants it, just go. You're such a sweetie. So just go click on it, and it's in the Skype. Not Skype. It's in the YouTube. It's on my page. It's on Gina's page. Go there. Click on it. Check out her Facebook page. Check out her websites. If you don't look, you won't learn. And it's never too late. Get your butts off the computer
Never
chair.
do it. Yeah.
Mouse, move it. Move it.
Get the book. Really, seriously. You can
I'm the
read it
bully
in a
of
day.
the family, by the
You
way.
can read
just
it in
in
a
case.
day. Real simple. You can read it a day. You get motivated. You will want to go back. You will do the things. You will go back. Just read it cover to cover. A lot of times it's like, yeah, all right, stop, do this, do that. This one, read it cover to cover, then go back and do some stuff.
The relationship piece too is such a special part for me. Again, I love all my children. I love all my topics. And I love supporting people in love. And so it's wonderful. My own mom was a great example. My dad, as I mentioned, died at the age of 56. She met my stepfather, and they married about 4 years after my dad passed away. And so my mom, I think, was 52 years younger than my dad. So we'll say she was in her late 50s. I don't remember anymore. And they had a gorgeous marriage. I mean, really, it was almost a little much at first, to see your mom so happy and in love. And and it's a good problem.
It's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good problem to have. Yeah.
And
I know, it's like mom and dad are fighting with them.
So
Retired.
after my stepfather passed away, they had 21 beautiful years together. I'll be darned if literally weeks after he passed away, another one came in at 84. And then we had to move our mom from Ohio we moved her initially to Seattle for a little bit. And then here where I live in San Diego, she's here now. And sure enough, when she was in assisted living, I'll be darned, she got another guy.
Good.
No. There we
Good.
go.
Go, girl.
In
There we
her
go.
Now,
80s.
you get your,
So,
she looked like you. I mean, you get the good genes from her.
yeah, I think so. My mom is now 93. She is not well. She has dementia, and it's significantly progressed at this point. She's actually still basically healthy.
Yeah.
She's very frail at this point. She no longer talks, and because of COVID, and we had to move her from memory care to skilled nursing about 3 months ago. And because of COVID, I can't see her. It's horrible. And I know a lot of other people are struggling with circumstances like that as well. So yes, now I've had brain scans and different tests. I've been told I have great neuroplasticity, which means I was told that means I'm going to walk into older adult life with ease. Supposedly, I don't know if this is true, supposedly I do not have the propensity for dementia. And I guess we'll find out for that. I guess God thought my brain injury was enough. I had been through enough. And I hope that remains true.
God, your lips to God's ears. Let's make that. I've sent in the link now to.
I have helped people. I had a wonderful client. I won't get into the details of the story. Who heard me on actually an event that I was a part of. She started working with me, and she finally attracted love for the first time. Got married at the age of 55. I worked with a woman who was in her early 70s. So any of you people out there who think it's too late to attract love or it's not possible, that is simply not true. I've attracted love more than once, but that's probably going to be a different book.
That'd be a different book. Well, we'll get you back.
One was divorced. Want to hear a quick cute story? Right.
Sure.
My first marriage. Right. My birthday, his birthday, and our anniversary, January 9th. Our first daughter was born July 9th. Our second was born October 9th. We get divorced after 9 years. But then I met Mark, right? And then he was like a 10, right? He was just like, he was it, but he passed away at 50, And now I have Bob. So basically I've been blessed like 3 times to have these three good relationships in my life,
Yes.
So, you never know. Because after Mark died, I was like, well, I'm done now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know. And again, if it's in your heart, it's your truth. I believe God places these desires in our heart, in part to have us grow and evolve into the person we were designed to become and to contribute. I believe, I'm a little biased. I don't believe we're just supposed to, I'm here. I think it's supposed to
work on it.
Well, to actually contribute in some way. It's like I went through my stuff and my prayer back in the hospital, honestly, that very first time, that's fine, Joan. Totally fine. Doesn't have to be, my own, I shouldn't say about my sister. Some people, let's say, would like to share life with somebody, but maybe live separately. I know people that do that. You get to design your life however you want it. And that's what makes it special. And so if that's something you want, there are ways to allow it to happen. And it's true. It's kind of that fairy godmother in me that really does want to support people in turning their dreams into reality. Just plain and simple.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Well, it is 9:00. It is our break time. Well, for us, we get a little bit
We
of
sit back and listen to another gorgeous lady.
Right. So this Athena, we're going to do her crystal of the week, and it's amber. So she'll be talking about this stone. And what we'll do is we'll all just kind of back out. We'll let her come on here. We'll add her now. Hi, Athena.
Hi, hello, loves. How
Good,
are
sound
you?
is good.
Oh, I know.
It seems
No
like-
craziness this week. I'm so glad.
Yes, Athena, but we've been talking. We've both been going through some crazy times. So we had each other laughing, which is, great. And the gift of laughter goes a long way. So
Yes.
I appreciate you very much. So what we're going to do is we're going to bow down and we're going to let you talk about Amber. All right. So we'll be back in a bit.
Wonderful. All right. Okay, hello, loves. How are you? I'm so happy to be here with you again on the Fox Den. Let me make sure I've got all my sound. I'm good. So yes, hello. I am Athena Barry, creator of Crystal Reiki Healer and author of award-winning book Raise Your Vibes. And I am so grateful to be back here on the Fox Den show for our Crystal of the Week segment. So this week's crystal that really resonated for me for today's show is amber. With its long history, let me show you a piece here. With its long history through the ages, some dating back hundreds of millions of years, this is the stone of our ancestors, protecting and guiding us on this journey in life, whether through daily life, meditation, physical healing, or even with past life regression. So although amber is not actually a crystal, it has been well known for its magical healing properties and powerful energy throughout the age of mankind, bringing its essence of organic life as solidified and fossilized tree sap to create a connection to our own sense of belonging here on Mother Earth. So amber is an excellent tool to open and heal the solar plexus and our sacral chakras when worn either as jewelry or as a piece kept in your pocket, or as I like to do, tucked in my bra. It offers a sense of safety, security, and peace. Now, rather than being a literal crystal, real amber is fossilized tree sap ranging from literally from tens of thousands of years old to hundreds of millions. I wouldn't be able to tell you how old this one is, but this little chunk was quite the penny. Back in the 50s, you saw this a lot more for jewelry with housewives. And in today's life, you see it a lot for those teething necklaces that you'll see for toddlers. And it makes sense because ancient physicians prescribed amber for headaches, heart problems, arthritis, pain. And so it's no wonder that it's still helpful even today for our little ones, like growing in their teeth. Amber is a powerful healer and a cleanser that draws disease from the body and promotes tissue revitalization, and it imbues the body with vitality. So you really get this sense of energy when you're working with amber. And by absorbing the pain and the negative energy, it allows the body to rebalance and to heal itself. So you can use this crystal as an elixir by placing it in a piece of water for wound healing. It's an excellent natural antibiotic. So if you apply it topically to a wound or a cut, it'll help it to regenerate and heal. Or you can just drink the water on its own by yourself. Don't swallow the amber though. Amber cleanses our Kundalini lines. So this will protect you from negative energy by absorbing and dispelling it. So kind of shielding you against taking on other people's pain when you're in healing work, or from psychic attacks, from energy vampires, by absorbing any negative energies and then transmuting them into positive forces that stimulate the body to heal itself. It is considered the aura purifier of the healing stones. So if you use this during meditation, it provides you with healing all of the auras, all your layers of auras. It refills, protects, and repairs any aura tears or anything that's too extreme if you have like a fast emotional or karmic release during healing work. This will help kind of seal in any holes that have opened up. And of course, I love to leave you with a wonderful affirmation for our crystals. And so to help you connect with Amber, I really love, I am a body and soul of healing energy, protected in my strength and at peace with myself. So I hope this has been helpful. Gina B, Mama D, thank you so much for having me on here with you on the Fox Den Show.
Here.
Thank
There you are.
so much, as always.
Oh, I
You're
love
wonderful.
you
We
always.
love you. We love you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
And Wendy, I hope this has added value to you for your show with your book. And congratulations. It's a beautiful piece you've brought to the world to share with everyone. And I'm so grateful to have shared here with you today.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And this is Athena's book, Raise Your Vibe.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I finally got it. Oh my
You
God.
finally got it.
Fiasco. Right? My
Well,
book
you know
got
that the
lost.
first copy of it is in somebody's hands somewhere, and they're
Yeah,
learning from it.
and the beautiful
Somebody's got a Dearest Gina somewhere.
crystal with the book. And
Yes.
and I got delivered from UPS a mangled envelope, ripped open, got grease all over, empty. And they delivered it to my house. I'm like,
Why even bother? Because then they can say they delivered it. By the way, I did file a claim and they sent me a reimbursement for the book. So you're
thank God.
good.
Okay.
Yes, yes. I know
Yeah.
you were worried about that. So we're totally fine there.
Oh, good. Thank God. Really.
Yes,
But I
yes.
thank you very much. I love having the hard copies. I have the PDF, and I'd like to have a book in hand. Look at me. I like books. I like to have them in
It's
hand.
nice. If you're a reader, it's really nice to have that physical hand. And I really love the smell of a new book too.
Yeah.
Actually, I like the smell of old books as well. I guess I'm a reader.
I love breaking the binding.
I love that. And that's such a beautiful book. I love the color and the cover on your book, Wendy. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Yes.
It was interesting because my publisher used a company that different graphic artists contribute. And we had a lot of submissions, but when this one came in, it was like, oh my gosh.
That's
and then
it.
there were a lot of others afterwards that tried and nothing could even come close. And it was
it's beautiful.
because when Robin asked me, well, what do you want the cover to look like? I was like, how do I know? But I could tell her how I wanted people to have the experience. I wanted it to be in a way that it caught their attention. I wanted it to feel welcoming and inviting.
That was the word I was thinking. It's so welcoming and inviting. Like it kind of draws you in, doesn't it? Like almost like these beautiful clouds or something that you're just, drawn to. Yeah, look at that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the woman that created it, it in a lot of ways, and it also reflects in a certain way the simplicity of my body of work. It's not a complex cover. It's not a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
At the same time, like you said, I think the blend of colors that she used, and it makes me happy every single time I look at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I also want other people to feel. It's like, oh, what's this?
I know, and that is true. Cover design is really important.
It is. It's really important.
With the Raise Your Vibes, because you got like your grounding, you get your raise. You know what I mean?
So the first cover for Raise the Vibes, when they sent it to me, it was like a deep purple with bright yellow letters, and I thought, oh my God, this looks like a cheesy 50s like horror movie, B movie. Like, what is this? I'm like, no, this is not raising anybody's vibe. Like, so I gotta veto that.
Some type of vibes, maybe the ones you
know. No, that was lowering the vibes.
Yes, it was.
And I love purple, so but at the same time,
who doesn't?
Well, there are shades of purple that are happy, and there are shades of purple that are, kind of shocking, and that was definitely it.
It was extreme. with the
It was extreme and the bright yellow. And I kind of was like, wow, it looks like one of those like bee horror movies. It's like, I don't know if that's and they're like, oh my God, I didn't even think about it. And I was like, yeah, maybe we can go back to the drawing board on that one. But thank you. Yes, I think the waved text and the way it goes in, it's just a much better fit. And the rainbows, it fits in with, our chakra centers, our energy centers. So the finished product is always, but it's like that even when we're writing, the first few drafts are, a bit like, whoa, wait a minute, you got to go back and rework it. And so it gets there in the end. All's well that ends well.
That's for sure.
Yes.
We get some comments over here. I had it on the other thing. So let's see. What is this here? Kind of like a medicine bag with stones and herbs. Well, yeah. That was probably talking about your tea. And then have a good day. You keep hitting it?
No, just ignore the old lady.
Yeah.
Simplistic yet intriguing. I love that. That's a really nice way to describe the cover there. Yes. Because it is. You've got those beautiful colors there. And it's like, what is this? Let me dive in. I love it.
It also, the good news and bad news of that, I loved it so much. And I was looking at my website and we still haven't done it. I've hired somebody, but I had some other things that needed to be done first. I have to change all the colors now on my website. It's like, wait, no, this is outdated. It no longer
serves you. And it's okay to leave something behind. It serves you at the time, but then and that's, again, it's progress. It's a progress thing like this too. Hey,
it's all about the growth, right? All about the growth.
Oh my gosh, do I have stretch marks? Probably all three of you do too.
Yep.
Oh, it's okay. That's all right. It's all part of the process. Definitely have, they're my battle wounds, I wear them with pride.
Yep. Now, she had a pretty big life-altering accident, and as did you.
Okay.
And she broke her back. She was in a bad car accident, and this is how, all her things started too. So that's the turning point, actually, for both of you beautiful women joining us today.
Well, there's a lot of growth and a lot of healing through pain and through sickness. And, when you survive it, you don't come out of it the worser. You come out of it stronger and more empowered. And then if you can find a way to shift your perspective like that and then turn around and help others, through your experience, then you're doing the right thing, and it wasn't for nothing, right? So
exactly.
At least I try to look at it like that.
Yeah, well, I definitely do. And I even remember praying to God while I was in the hospital the first time. I said, God, if you help me dig out of this hole, because it was a really deep one, I said, and I promise I will pay it forward. And I said, and if you can show me some ways to make it easier and faster. I said, nobody should have to suffer like this. And the good news is, wish granted. So for that, I'm grateful.
That is awesome.
I love that.
That is awesome.
Beautiful. The power of prayer, the power of divine healing.
All of it.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Love that.
And everything happens for a reason. And people, when they're in their tragic moments, and they think, oh, this is it. It's over and done, and I can't do any more. You can.
You can.
It will. And yeah, and look at there's 4 examples.
Exactly.
All of us.
So that whole everything happens for a reason. I do believe that's true, but I can remember also being in the hospital one of the times. I was in the hospital several times for different surgeries, and somebody sent me a get well card saying adversity, but something to the effect of adversity brings character and builds character. And it's like, really? I'm supposed to be complimented at this point?
At this point, yeah, I know.
It's like,
not the right time.
Yeah, it doesn't, not today.
Not today. Yeah, I'm not feeling it right now. No, maybe later.
By the way, Mama D, where's your puppy? I see a little somebody trying to pop.
He just had today.
We just got a haircut.
He's camera ready.
He does not like He likes to be up here with me, but he doesn't like, as you can see, he keeps putting his head further and further because he doesn't like to be on camera, but he likes to be on camera. Okay, Onyx.
He's gonna
Yeah.
fall asleep. Every time he gets up there, he
And by
falls
the way, his name is Onyx. She's
Oh,
the
I love it.
What kind of
Oh.
dog is he?
He's a Shih Tzu.
Ah,
He's
I used to have an Osheries. And yeah, he should have been called a what dog, because when people would ask me
People
what
would be
kind
like, a what?
of dog he was, people would go, a what? So Osheries is a blend of Maltese, Poodle, and Pekingese. Max was very heavy.
Oh my god, that must have been a grooming
I don't
nightmare.
know where the Pekingese was. Never figured that one out. The kindest, beautiful dog, and unfortunately, he crossed the Rainbow Bridge, as some people say. I don't know what that's supposed to really mean. Actually, I think it's based on a poem, and a couple of years ago, and I still miss him. But he comes to me in my dreams, which is really sweet. I love that.
Aw.
Yeah, I happen to agree.
People
The
in the
people
chat
in the
room.
chat are a reflection of the incredible hosts and their guest speakers. But without us, there wouldn't be a you guys. And without a you guys, there's no us.
You're
Okay,
right.
there's
Yes,
always me,
thank
but,
you to you both. Let's see if I can point to you guys here. I got one over here, one over here. Yeah, I can't tell with the camera. Yes, thank you. I feel
her
so
fault.
grateful that you
Anyway,
have this
it's her
show.
fault.
Can I do? Oh no, I have to go that way. There we go. I'm backwards here. But yes, I'm so grateful that you have this platform, and I know that there are people who watch you do too. I know you've been doing this for quite a while, and it's so beautiful that you get to come on here. I mean, you get to come on and spend time together, girlfriends, right? But then you also get to bring on like these incredible people. I'm trying to point to her. We have over here, we have Wendy and other authors you brought on, that it's just like sharing that love and paying it forward. And it's so cool that you have a platform to do that.
That is absolutely part of Wendy's story, is paying it forward. You know what I mean? She's doing it on a daily basis. And, I mean, we meet people, for a reason. We met you. We had you on our show, Athena. And look at
Now she can't get away from us, no matter how
Yeah.
much.
There you go. You come back every week.
And now I don't want to leave.
Where do you live?
I said, you should try to be my co-host,
Athena, where do you live?
I'm in Calabasas, Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. I'm
Down
in
in
San Diego.
Oh, you're in San Diego. Okay, so
Oh,
we're
same
neighbors
state.
of sorts. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, we're close by. One of my oldest, dearest friends lives in San Diego, so I go down. We do an annual trip, and just 2 years ago, just before I started writing the book, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer for the appendix, which is apparently a very rare cancer. And I was going down there with my bags of crystals and all my stuff and helping her through. She had to do chemo every couple of weeks, so I would go for the weekend and help her. And of course, while I was there, besides just helping with the little things, tidying up and food, and she has a daughter to take care of, I was doing lots of healing work. And so far, I mean, it's been 2 years. They gave her, it was stage 4, like they gave her a few months, and she's still going. I always include her in my healing sessions, and we still get together, and she's doing great. So even when things seem like like there's no way out, it's just not always the case. Sometimes, we have unfinished business. We have things lessons we still have to learn, lives we still have to touch, people who still love and need us. And so, I mean, her strength of character is incredible, that she's still able to keep going and keep fighting, and I'm there with her as much as I can be. So if I'm ever down in San Diego the next time, it'd be fun to meet up and have a tea or something and chat about all that you're doing.
Okay, sounds like
I love that. Yes.
I love this show because you both you ladies had like major traumas in your lives that for me made you that much more special, and a lot of people in our chat room. And Vernon just put in 3 years ago, I was on life support for 12 days and God gave me a second chance. So now I take time to smell the roses and view the beauty of God's creations all around us.
Right.
No,
Beautiful.
I love
And
that.
where and how you find inspiration and what you need, that is why the variety of people, that's why
Yep.
we do what we do. We bring on all these wonderful people.
Because
and
somehow, some way, everything connects.
Yes.
It
Yes.
does.
Yes.
You need help from
Absolutely.
her, you need help from Athena. Mama D's got her own special brand of healing
Nuts.
and help. I mean, I just put the shows together.
Yeah, don't even
Oh,
try that,
yes.
girl.
Don't
Don't
give
even try
yourself
that.
any credit, right? No.
No.
We are all here because of you.
Yeah, it's her fault.
That's what I
I
mean.
told you, it's her
I'm
fault.
pulling it together. But you guys got the talent. You guys, you do what you do.
Excuse me, miss, who makes amazing videos?
That's for sure. Oh my God.
and sees and communicates with people who have passed on. I'm sorry, that's not a small talent.
Yeah, but she doesn't like to shine that light, so we're just
That's
gonna
okay. We'll shine it for her.
we'll shine it for her. Yeah.
Yes.
See, look, she's blushing. I love this.
Doing us back in to the show. All right, wait a second. We got some more comments are coming up here. We have no promises of tomorrow. Don't put off today. That's good sage advice. Karma's a major game player in the life you live. I firmly believe you get back 12 times what you put out. 12 times.
Okay, 12 times. All right.
At least.
That's a good number. I like good. I like 12 times a day. That's good.
I like that. Yes.
Yeah. But it is true. But it is true, and we all need different things. We all need different things to heal, and that could change. It's subject to change. That's the same thing. Your book cover and you're changing your colors. That what the colors were before. There was that time. This is now. This is this time. Right. This is this time for you guys. Right now. This is your time. Right. To get this and create your miraculous life because you can have one.
And I can't wait to see your website and see how it's changed to now reflect this new part of your journey.
It's not changed yet. I mean, we had other things that I had to do that started the process in the color shifts. But because of other things in my business that started to take precedence, we haven't gotten to it yet. And it's
that's the magic word, yet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
all in divine timing.
Yeah, definitely a yet. Other things just took precedence and still do.
Yep. Kindness doesn't cost a thing, and we can all do it. Love you and thank you for a great time tonight.
Oh, that's so nice.
Thank you. That's true. You know what? Kindness we all have, and it's free. So.
And it's so easy. It's so easy to be nice. It's sprinkle that all over the place. Pay it forward. There's enough negativity in the world for let's set that aside for a second. Leave it for the news.
I can offer something that people can do because obviously there's a lot of anger and frustration and stuff going on right now. I learned the power of thought and energy now and have been practicing that for many years. And in my talks, I can demonstrate this. I won't be able to with all of you. But if you intend to, first of all, fill yourself up with love, just imagine love is filling in through you and filling you up and through your body. If there's any little excess, it can go through into the ground. But when your heart is full, now have the intention of sending love to the people in your home, the people in your neighborhood, the people in your city, your state, the country, and the globe. We have scientific evidence now that it literally can fill other people up and begin to shift them. So, for example, I have spoken at different high schools or elementary schools, and I talk about bullies and that these people are just kids whose hearts have been stomped on. And they're walking around with empty love wells. And this is how they just know how to survive. It's a survival mechanism. I said, so I teach kids, you can sit in your classroom and send them love and fill up their love wells. Nobody has to know you're doing it. And I show them, I demonstrate. So there's an exercise I do in my talk where I literally show them, look at this person, send them love. And I use applied kinesiology muscle testing and to show the difference, how different emotions affect us, love and hate. And so I say, okay, just for a little bit, pretend there's somebody that you really don't like and just silently just say, I hate you, I don't like you, and just whatever. And so testing, they'll go weak. They're feeling those thoughts and feelings. So then I say, okay, let's just try it one more time, okay? So I have, and especially when you're working with kids, I do this with adults too, by the way, they actually enjoy it too. And so I said, okay, one more time. And this purport, I've shielded the person who is actually getting it. And I clear them out in case they inadvertently get any of the ickies. And so I have them try the hate part. Okay, let's go. Just get all that frustration out and point it at this person. Well, this time they stay, we're reversed. So this time they stay strong. And I said, come on. I know you've got it in you. Tell this person how much you don't like them, or pretend it's somebody that did you wrong. And they're staying strong. Because even though, and I've done this with hundreds of people in my audience, even though they are saying, I don't like you, I am saying, I love you.
Aww.
Oh, I love that. Yes. And they've done.
Yeah, when you're filled with love, you're like big and strong and beaming. Yep. And when you're full of hate, you're hunched, you're crunched, you know what I mean? And you're inward. So,
and you really feel that from the person next to you. Absolutely. Dr. What is it? Dr. Soto, he did a crystal experiment, the water experiment. Yeah, right. Where they did that, and he, spoke either words of love, words of hate, and did the same with music, different frequencies of music. And they found the water became beautiful, like crystallized structures when it was positive energy. And people have done this with plants as well, like, and with food and keeping it in containers. And it's awesome because, we also are beings of energy and, mostly made up of water, right? So it only makes sense that would affect us as well. And I love that people are starting to see that more and apply that, to, raise the vibration for everybody, and that's why when you vibe higher, I vibe higher. And it's true because we're all connected. So I love that you're able to show them this exercise with the, the muscle, what do they call this? What do you call this again? The
biology muscle testing.
Yes, the muscle test. I love that because then they can see it, and actually feel it and have a lot of people need, they need to see it to believe it, right? Yes. So when they see it to believe it, then that's I love that you're able to do that and show them. And the kids must love it too. It's like, oh, look what
it's interactive. So, whenever you get them involved and, and doing something, and then it's like, oh, I'll just really use something to this, so yeah, that's great. Well, Athena, I know you have things that you need to do, so
I have little ones in the back. Yes.
I will let you go. And I thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'll see you next week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the show. And to everybody out there, I hope you have a wonderful start to your new year. Stay safe, guys. Mwah. Many blessings.
Bye.
Bye, love. Bye.
Bye. I love her. I absolutely love her. She's great, and
she's blushing in the green room.
Yeah, I love you. She's the best. And this is what happens. We have people come on our show. We make lifelong friends. you know, and we will always recommend the people that we know in our hearts, you know, that truly have that kindness, that compassion, that caring, that, you know, truly want to help people like you. You know, you truly want to help people, and it shows. And you know what? I got to get the other book. I got to read The Miracle That Is Your Life. I need to get that because I like your style, one, and I just want to know more about you. You know.
Thanks.
So this has been this is you know we did, oh my goodness, she was just over half an hour. I apologize for that, for taking your time away from your book here. But now we talked about so far. So we did the loving yourself link. We started talking about couples, you know, or in relationships and whatnot. Now, what about singles and singles? I think they're getting it like doubly, being especially during pandemic time. So now here you are, you're alone and you're sheltered alone. So
Hmm.
what do you have to offer, and how can you help them?
You know, actually, because of the pandemic, and yes, I have a lot of compassion for people that are single and alone, especially all this time. But remember, I always see things as an opportunity. So, first of all, it's an opportunity for self reflection and growth. You know, if you've been wanting a relationship and you don't have one, well, maybe the common denominator is you. And so maybe there is some healing that is needed, some growth that is needed. I know people and have worked with people that have connected with someone new during this period of time. Um, and and so it just depends. You know, it in some ways I have to say, well, first of all, we live in a very high-tech world, so we have all these dating apps and dating sites. And the good news, because we really, especially before, it's a little more relaxed now.
Hmm.
Um, we couldn't meet somebody. And so I actually liked that because this provides an opportunity to get on a Zoom call. We're probably all
And
zoomed
talk
out
more and
at
more.
this point, but it gives an opportunity to really start to get to know someone.
Yep.
Because all too often people kind of, you know, they a little dynamic clicks and you know the heart flutters and the hormones start elevating, and sometimes that
Yeah.
clouds, you know, actually getting to know somebody.
Yeah.
So it really does provide a foundation. You know, when John and I first came together, it was before the pandemic. But and by the way, I like this example and I talk about it in the book. It wasn't like we met and what it was like, oh, it's you.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't
do like
like
this
that.
story. Yeah.
And you know, we my friends, um, my friends kind of hoodwinked me one night. I speak at a conference, CEO Space. I'm part of their faculty. And a couple of the other faculty members came up to me and said, hey, we want to get together with you later tonight. And that wasn't necessarily an unusual request, but there was just a little something in it that had me kind of, what's up?
Hmm.
So we all got
Yeah.
together. We actually congregated in my room, and one of the women said, we think you need to start dating. And I'm like, okay. And we want to take you shopping. And I went, okay. I'm like, I have never been known as somebody that needs fashion assistance, but apparently they wanted to fluff me up a little bit. And so to cut to the chase a little bit more, they did take me shopping and it was so much fun. And they wanted a little different style for me, not and there's so much more to that story that actually now it's funny. In the moment, it wasn't so funny. The founder of the company
Oh,
hugely embarrassed me when I came back because his wife was one of the women that went shopping with me. And so he knew all of this was going on. So when I come into this massive ballroom with all of our participants and members, right? And he's like, Wendy, darling, look at you. And I'm like, I'm so going to kill this man later. And so I did. I created my profile. Because of my age, I will be honest, a lot of men weren't interested. But you know something, they're not my guys. So
Right.
that's okay. So men my age, you know, for the most part, I tended to attract even older men. And at my age, and also I'm fairly youthful, I wanted somebody close to my own age. You know,
Right.
I didn't want a youngin', but I also didn't want somebody much older than me.
Yeah.
And I would always be very diplomatic about it. Thank you so much. But at this time, I really would like to meet somebody my own age. And now I also have my end date of my membership on this site in my calendar, right? Because I told God, I said, listen, you and I both know the likelihood I'm going to meet somebody that I'm going to be interested online. It's going to be like slim to none. However, I'm doing this to show you I'm trying to do my part to stay open. Wink,
Right.
wink. You know, it's like,
Bring you to the very end of your date. Yeah.
yeah, well, now I'm at the very end of my membership and I get this email and it's from this man and I'm like, okay, fine. I look at his pictures and I'm like, well, he looks okay. I read his profile and I'm like, well, he seems to be literate. You know, a little low. I honestly am thinking to myself, oh, please don't be a scammer, because there are a lot of people out there that pretend to be somebody else. And so we make arrangements to speak the next day. Neither one of us can remember what we said. And then we met the next day for a coffee. And it was very pleasant. It was there was none of that at all. In fact, I thought, is he nervous? You know, it was just, now I'll interject here. I later found out he had hurried to come from another date that he had to meet up with me.
Wow.
And he had been married for a long time. So he was a fish out of water. So we parted ways and, you know, he said it'd be nice to get together again. And I have to say, there was something intuitively that was like, maybe I should give this guy another chance, you know? And so we end up meeting for a dinner and there's a little more connection. Again, I don't know if I'm in the friend zone. I'm a very friendly person. I love meeting people.
Right.
So I got nothing at this point, you know, but I did notice near the end of our dinner, I'm a little curious, you know, it's like, but that's about it. Okay, now we were now talking about maybe getting together another time. And we make arrangements for that. And I knew enough about him that I trust he wanted to come and pick me up at my house. And I felt safe about that. And I mean, I had checked him out. And so now I'm saying, okay, God, you know, it seems like a nice guy. Can we just have clarity if he's going to be in the friend zone? You know, at the very least, maybe he can take my hand. You know what So he comes to my house. He is like a completely different person. He's animated. He comes up. He gives me a kiss on the cheek, and I mean, I'm like, well, where have you been? And so we went to a movie, and then we were going to go for sushi afterwards. So we go to the movie theater. He comes around. Those were the good old days. And he opens the car door, and he takes my hand. And he holds my hand as we're walking into the movie theater. Ooh, that's another, that
Yeah.
I haven't been to a
Check.
movie. Yeah. And he holds my hand for the entire movie. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not in the friend zone.
Right.
And then we actually had our first kiss that night outside of
Woohoo!
the grocery store.
Hey,
While we were waiting
Food
for
always
Sue.
gets in there.
make, yeah, you can
Yeah.
make your own romantic place. Now you have a space.
Yeah. So the point, though, is it wasn't evident to either one of us at first.
Right.
And I say that because all too often people go, nope, 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 too fast. And
Mhm.
sometimes those no's are accurate, but I'm here to say maybe not. So not only am I eating my words that I met someone online,
Yeah.
but also it wasn't an immediate hot whatever. And so we just don't know, but that's where trusting your intuition really becomes important.
Huge. Yes. This is your intuition too. This is a direct links to your spirit guides are telling you, yes, right? You gotta listen to those. That is a true fact.
Oh yeah, I live in that one.
This,
Pamela says we live in an instant gratification society. I have that
Right.
disease. Well, I always
yeah,
think I do.
and that's not the way. That is definitely not the way. And a lot of people do. Like I had to deal with some scammers. I tried after my husband died, because it was the suggestion you should date, and I was like, you know, where am I going to meet someone? I don't drink. I don't go to bars. I don't do this. I don't do that. Where am I going to meet someone? Right. So I did the online thing. I did Match and another one. But on Match, oh, scammer. Oh my God. This guy, he tried to get $5,000 off of me. I'm like,
Oh
wait,
my
what?
God.
Yeah, I have people. I've actually had clients. I had a client because I have specific guidelines when people start meeting people. And just like I said, I wanted to talk to John right away. I wanted to meet up right away. I was not, if there was enough interest to meet, I wanted to, first of all, I had a conversation because I wanted to hear who this person is. If they can't even have a conversation on the phone,
Hmm.
Are you
I'm
going to sit down and have a
I'm not gonna, I'm fine being by myself. So it's like, no. So I think it's really important to take those steps. So I had a client who didn't want to follow my guidelines, met somebody, they're talking. I don't even know if they're talking. I know they're emailing, and she's like, oh my gosh, the way he writes and blah, 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 blah. And suddenly there's a death in the family and he has to go overseas.
And he needs $5,000 to get there.
And I'm like, this is not good. And I tell her that, and I said, well, it's your journey, but you need to know I can't support this, but I will support you. And sure enough, something happened where she finally went, oh.
Yep. And they do it. There's like a lot of them on there, and they're preying on the vulnerability, or well, I don't want to say stupidity. I mean, it's just being gullible. You know what I mean? And falling for the lines. This guy was pulling out all the stops with me. And I'm just like laughing. I'm just like, I don't know who you think you're dealing with here, but it has never happened in not this lifetime and not the next, right? But he's like, oh, well, my daughter, I had ordered her all these Christmas gifts and a computer and some kind of gaming thing and everything else. But I have it up to $5,000. He's like, and it got lost, and I don't have it, and now she doesn't have a Christmas. I'm like, well, that's too bad.
Okay. I need a new computer, Gina.
I know. I'm like, I need a new computer.
And it doesn't need to be $5,000 either.
I need a new computer.
That happened to somebody else that I know, and where they spoke, he was supposedly overseas finishing up a consulting job, wanted her to meet him at the airport. And I'm like, no way. Oh, and it was a late night flight on top of it.
No.
There's no way you are doing that. And right before he was supposed to leave, but to come back, he said, there's a little issue with whatever. He said, can you just spot me? Maybe we'll say $5,000. I mean, she was so embarrassed that she felt. They texted, they spoke, she thought.
Yeah, they're like professionals. They really write in. They are very sincere. Yeah, we talked for a while, and again, yeah, he was like down at Cape Ann, So he's like, oh, I'm working down here, architect and blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, then you should have money.
You see what Debbie just wrote? Isn't that great?
32 years ago, I met my husband on a blind date on Friday the 13th. Lucky day for me. And now we will be married 29 years in April. That's awesome.
Aww.
Debbie's such a love. She's just such a
Good
good
for
guy.
you guys.
Yeah. What's this one? Okay, I've heard these types of similar stories over and over again from women for years. It's a total well thought out scam. They're working several women at the same time. Absolutely. And if they get the money, then there you go. And there's really no repercussions on them.
One of the things though, if you're looking for love, don't let that stop you. These guys you can filter out.
Yep.
Don't feel that vulnerable. Just because there are people out there. The other thing that I like, typically people that work with me, they can't get in your space because I help you shield yourself. I help you heal, do things. There was a time, it's now many years ago, where I mentioned earlier that I was raised Jewish and I was newly single. My son was going to be with his father. I was staying with a girlfriend and her husband in Dallas. And the Jewish Community Center had like a single something on Christmas Eve because most of us don't celebrate Christmas. And so my friends really encouraged me to go. So I took a shower. I got all cleaned up. This is a lot of years ago, so I look pretty good. And honestly, this
Still look freaking amazing. Don't even start.
Thanks. Well, but my point though is it was the first time I really saw the power of who we are. So I saw men coming towards me and they would go, whoop, they would turn. I would see somebody going, whoop. Nobody was coming near me. I think I spoke to maybe one, and I'm thinking, I took a shower. I was good.
I'm good.
Right. And it was like, oh, I get it. They can't even get in my space.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Don't waste my time. And so it was really, it was such it was like, I could have said, well, what's wrong with me? And I actually went, oh, this is the coolest. I had my own little filtering system.
Yep.
I love it.
And then a lot of times too, men in a relationship too, they want the relationship with a strong woman until they get into a relationship with a strong woman. Then they don't know what to do and then they can't handle it.
Well, we just have to see. But I want to say something about that too. I think a lot of women have done a more personal growth work in general than men. And I feel that in some ways we have now made it a little more challenging for men. And I think it has become, I think it is the time of women's empowerment. I do see more women embracing corporate life or their own businesses or whatever. And the Dalai Lama even predicted that it would be the Western woman that would save the world. May that be true.
Yes.
And yet, I think it's our job now to give men the space and to welcome them into embracing more of who they are authentically, because they too have been conditioned to be a certain way, to live a certain way.
Yeah. Real men don't cry, and you
And
have to take charge. Nah.
Yeah, and so I do feel, if you meet somebody that maybe isn't, as maybe spiritually evolved as you would like, but there's hope there, there's something good there. And if they're open, I think that's kind of part of our job now.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
That's a really good point. It's a good point to put out there too, because I always think, I think women have the advantage anyway because we use both sides of our brain. We're multitaskers. The men can't really do that. They only use half of their brain. I think that's half their problem.
We don't know that. I'm not willing to 100% agree with that. But I do think we need to make it easier for men.
Yeah.
I think the thing is women have been made to believe that they need to be taken care of for so long, not now, but like back in the day. And we've had to fight harder to make ourselves, to learn, to be heard, to people to see us, that now that we're fighting for so hard for us to be seen as us, as an individual, not just, a body, or a space taker, but it's and the guys, like you say, the guys have been said, oh, I've got to go out and work and she's got to stay home and yada yada. But there are so many, yes, there are still some adorable troglodytes out there, and that's cool for them. But there are some amazing, they call themselves home dads. Instead of a housewife, it's a house dad, home dad. And they still get made fun of, but it's time for, the troglodytes to be like, yo, it's, you can do whatever you want with your guy, girl, whatever.
It takes the relationship to make the household work.
Exactly.
So both have to contribute, whether it's man, man, woman, woman, man, woman, right? Whatever it is, whatever the relationship is. A tribe, to run your household. It's like, do what you can do to benefit the household, and you gotta, it's like, do you run into a lot of jealousy type things, Wendy? Because I feel like that's a big relationship killer. Jealous of, like, being jealous of the other person in your relationship, whether there's of their success.
To me, a symptom of something much deeper. So first of all, sometimes jealousy exists for a reason. There can be legitimate reasons that somebody is not feeling, that they are the center of this person's world, and that they are not being respectful of their partner, and they are not being respectful of their boundaries with other people. And so that's the first perspective. So when somebody's feeling jealous, in a relationship, that says to me, well, what are you wanting that you're not getting? And what are you not giving your partner that they need? Now, the other piece sometimes stems from, it can be irrational. I would say more times not, but it can be irrational because you're just not feeling secure in your relationship. You're not feeling secure about yourself. But I'm going to almost bet more times than not, there's a spiny sense that something's just not right. And it's showing up as jealousy. And so I think it's a bigger issue, quite honestly, than just, oh, I'm feeling a little jealous. You're giving this one attention and you're not giving it to me. What's up? So I don't know. I have to say, jealousy doesn't really exist around me very much. But if I would,
that's awesome. That is like,
No, it really doesn't. There was a couple that I worked with not too long ago, and he had been unfaithful, and they were trying to decide if they could repair their marriage. They had a child together, and he was not, I got to be honest, I had individual as well as sessions with them together. I kind of laid it into him, that he had to choose. He was still wanting to be friends with this woman he had had an affair with. And I felt that was totally inappropriate, totally disrespectful. And unfortunately, they did choose to part ways eventually, but not right away. But you see, that's what I'm talking about. You know, it's like, who do you think you are? I mean, I don't speak to guys that way. I didn't speak it. I'm speaking it now because it was like, what the heck? You know, and I think it's really critical for you know, there has to be self-respect. If you
Right.
don't have respect for one another and you want the best for that person and you want to honor that person, you should not be with that person. That is, and if you're in a situation where somebody's not showing you respect and treating you well, you there is something better for you. You know, a lot of people stay in relationships because they think, oh, I can't, I don't want to be alone. Or you know what I see with people that I've worked with that have been abused in the past is like, oh, but they so showed me so much love. And there's this image of this persona, and that's why people tend to stay with people that have abused them in some way, because it's like, oh, they really didn't mean it. Well, yeah, they really did.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
And you need to get as far away from a person like that and love yourself and respect yourself. And so, you know, we have a lot of people that are very troubled, and it's being expressed in a lot of ways. But I'm not a Pollyanna, but I do believe that if you want a better life, you can definitely create it.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen by sitting in a corner.
Exactly. Did you see this from Vernon? Gina put it up before. As a chef, I tell guys, women deal with stress a lot better than men. They don't crack under pressure, and most guys think I'm number one. Whoops, I lost me that thing. Do you want to? I say, but God gave woman for a man to have as a companion, to be by his side, close to his heart, not in front, not behind, but his equal. And if there is jealousy, then there is no trust. If you honor and cherish them, then there should be no issues at all.
That's right.
Agreed.
That's right. That's right. 100%.
Oh, Vernon, I loved you before, and I love you even more now.
I know. Vernon's been a very good contributor tonight.
Yeah.
Really good points. Really good comments. Thank you very much. Actually, everybody does. Everybody does.
Yeah, it's
Thank
been a
you
good
all.
show tonight. And
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're at the
yeah.
end. All right. So I don't know. You're not doing any events now or anything like that. Other
Yeah,
than
Loving Yourself Clean starting next week,
Right.
February 19th. February, I'll be offering, I will be offering my Attract Love Now program for singles. That is not live and up yet, but if anybody's interested, you can always email me at wendy@wendydarling.com. We try to keep it easy here. And for those of you that are listening that would like to have a copy of my free ebook, that is, it's called How to Rapidly Remedy the 3 major issues women face. And yes, I'll get to that too. I forgot that I gave that to you. And men, you can read it too. It's wonderful. It gives a lot of good information. The website for that is miraculousresultsnow.com. The site that you have up now is actually an exercise that I call the Results Accelerator. And so let's say you want to release weight. That's your end result that you're wanting. Or it could be.
I'm just going to back up a second. I'm trying to put this up here. Miraculous Life. What was the other?
No, it's miraculousresultsnow.com.
Miraculousresults.com.
Miraculousresultsnow.com.
Sorry.
Yeah, so you have the ebook, miraculousresultsnow.com. how to rapidly remedy. And then I also am offering you an exercise. Yes, that's right. Then I'm also offering you an exercise called the Results Accelerator. So you pick one result that you want. Let's say you want to release weight, you want to attract love, you want to make more money. I have a really unique system, we haven't talked about it, that can dial all of that up. And this exercise is there's 10 categories. You will be guided how to do this, but you will discover the number one area that you need to focus on to get that result easier and faster. And so to do that, you go to you go to wendydarling.com /
Where is it? Do I have it up there?
there it is, Miraculous Life book, because it's a link that I also had put in my book. But you get to have it. Hopefully you'll also want my book.
Oh gosh, please get her book. Please, people, get her book. Honest to God, you'll love it. You'll love it. So that, and I did look at it. I went onto the site. I did look at that. And you sent the email over. Congratulations and welcome and everything. And you can just tell. You can just tell you're embracing. With everything.
This
done.
has been fun. This has been really lovely. Oh, thanks, Debbie.
Yeah,
We appreciate that.
Yeah, it has been very fun. I mean, there was a lot of questions that we didn't get to, but I'm telling you guys,
Book answers a lot.
And now I want to get the Miracle That Is Your Life, because I need to read that. And that was for me. And I'll see you all next week, hopefully, with Patty Henry. We had talk about things happening. We had Patty Henry for supposed to be our last show for last year, and she ended up having medical issues, and they gave her too much anesthesia on a medical thing, and it just gave her like an induced dementia almost. She's really out of it, and she's still not well. You know what I mean? But had her scheduled for last week, and then I was sick. And now we got her scheduled for next week. So hopefully.
I'll be sick.
That's enough. All good things now. Yeah. 2022 is being spoken as it's to be a very healthy, happy year. Yes. So hang in there.
Great.
And all good things. And I thank you so much for today. This has been lovely meeting both of you. Thank you for this opportunity. And of course, we can obviously talk offline as well.
Yeah. Hang with us for a minute here after I play the exit video.
I can only for just literally a minute because my dinner is calling me.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
waiting dinner on us too. Okay, bye.
All right. So we will see you all next week. Thank you, Wendy, for everything.
Thank you. It's been a blessing.
Right. Ciao, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you again for joining us for another episode in the Fox Den. We're here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and our Anchor venues. We would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, and please subscribe, share, and definitely hit the notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows as well.